So I just wanted to jump into this really quick vlog, and it's all about dealing with not so nice and sometimes hateful comments on your YouTube channel. Because I recently published a video where I was in the beginning giving this quite long exposure or disclaimer, that's the word, disclaimer about that the video was not sponsored. And I was a little bit ranting about how I dislike the Insta360 media push, where my subscription feed was completely filled with basically an ad for that camera of all of the creators that were pushing out basically the same video at the same time to kind of fill up your subscription feed. And I really disliked that. And it made it so difficult to kind of figure out what are the reviews and what are just sponsored videos. So I was ranting a little bit about that, and there were some comments that said, oh, that was a 5-minute rant, just get to the review. And I'm just thinking, why do you take the time to comment that instead of just using the chapter markers that I put in the video? So either you could just push open the description, then you see the chapter markers, or in the timeline of that video you see the chapters. So just jump ahead instead of taking the time and commenting that you dislike me ranting about it or making the video longer. And before I go into dealing with comments, I just want to say that is bound to happen, because in the beginning, as I said previously in my videos, you need to practice talking in front of the camera. And I personally feel that I already have become quite fluent in speaking. English is my second language. So considering that, especially in the beginning, I was stumbling upon my words. But even if English would be my mother language, or when I'm doing videos in German, when you're talking to the camera in the beginning, you will stumble upon your words. You will do a lot of ums, ahs, and pauses. And that is why I think it is so important to practice as much as possible talking to the camera. Get comfortable. I mentioned this in all of the videos previously. Practice, practice, practice. Allow yourself to make mistakes to get better in making these videos and talking into the camera. But yeah, that's the first part, and I feel like, yes, in that video I was ranting for about 5 minutes, but I feel like that is just normal when you're talking to a camera. Even if you are becoming quite fluent, you will ramble a little bit, and that will happen, that you maybe talk a little bit. But these are your videos. Talk as much as you want. It doesn't matter, as these are free videos that you provide to other people, but also they are there for you to enjoy. If you want to talk, then just talk and continue to do so. If you like that, just do it. And if you want to provide value to your viewers, then add chapter markers. And I've had a few comments like that just didn't see the chapter markers and then were complaining that the video got long, and I'm sitting there. So you took the time to make a 3-minute post but did not see the chapter markers, and that is so confusing to me. And this segues to the segment of this video where I want to talk about dealing with comments. And I had my fair share of really unfriendly and sometimes racist comments on my channel. In the beginning, everyone was like, oh, your German accent is so stupid. And I'm sitting there, okay, A, do you speak a second language? And B, just click off then if you can't stand my German accent. Or German people also, oh, you have a German accent, I can't bear it, just make German videos. And I'm saying, yeah, but if I would just make German videos, only 2 people would watch this, you and another person. So just let me do what I do and just switch off the video, right? And then I had some comments about me being Asian or my appearance, and being very hateful. And that is something that will happen, unfortunately. In the beginning, there will be some people that will always comment some stupid stuff instead of just switching off, and you will need to deal with that. There are multiple ways you can deal with that. In my humble opinion, for me personally, the best way is if it's some negative comment about what you're making, I usually like to respond in a friendly way and try to see it as feedback. I usually respond in thanks for the feedback, and maybe I misunderstood what you're saying and it came across a little bit unpolite or not very nice, but I'm always happy to kind of improve myself. Maybe you can elaborate on what you meant because it came across in a way that I'm not really understanding. Usually, and I would say 9 out of 10 times, people are like backing off and saying like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. This is my constructive feedback and this is something where I think you could improve. And that usually resolves that negative comment. Then also there is the, in air quotes, philosophy of not feeding the trolls. Obviously, if it's really hateful, you can ignore it and you should ignore it. But I'm always trying to, I'm not sure if that's a quote in English also. I'm trying to take out the wind out of their sails, and if I see something hateful, I usually respond, hey, I disagree, I think that's a little bit unpolite, but thanks for watching anyways. If it was that bad, then I applaud your courage to watch me, although you hate me so much. And bottom line, what I'm saying is just continue doing what you're doing. Try to not get those comments underneath your skin. Usually people write stuff without thinking on the internet and don't really consider how their comment can be perceived. And when you acknowledge that and when you tell them, hey, that was a little bit weird or I didn't really understand what you're meaning, usually people back off if you approach them with the respect that you want to receive. Obviously, if you go all in and say, oh, you're stupid because you said this to me, usually people also get kind of aggressive or respond in a negative way, which is why I usually like to approach negative comments in the hope that if I give that person the benefit of the doubt and reply respectfully, I usually 9 out of 10 times get the respect back. 1 out of 10 times, instead of replying back, usually they don't reply and they kind of notice, oh yeah, that was a little bit stupid of me, and I see it in a way that most people don't really like to admit if they have done something wrong. But yeah, again, you will receive negative comments, especially in the beginning. Unfortunately, also if English isn't your first language, people will mock you on your English. If you are a person of color like I am, let's be real, you will get some racist comments. I wish we were in a world where that wouldn't happen, but it does happen. It still happens to me when I'm in person. People have gone back to being a little bit racist, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I got used to it. But that is something that you need to keep in mind. There will be some very negative comments. I would say if you can't comment in a good way or in a funny way, let's say that way, or in a entertaining way, I would say never reply back in anger. That doesn't work. That never works in my humble opinion. Either you ignore it or you reply with the benefit of the doubt and a respectful way, because I think the way you approach people should be the way you want to be approached, and that usually helps. And then most of the time people reply back politely. And very importantly, do not get discouraged. Do not get those comments get underneath your skin. It's not worth it, because most people are just stupid anyways if they comment like that. And yeah, just continue doing what you're doing. That's all I can say. And I know that you can get 100 good comments and positive feedback, and that one negative comment is the one that will stick with you. I know that from experience, but all I can say is just do what you're doing. Keep continuing making videos, keep continuing practicing, and do not let those comments get underneath your skin. All right, if you want to see how to stay sane on YouTube and not dealing with the numbers, check out the video up here. And YouTube thinks that you like the video down here, and do not forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. I see you in the next video. Thank you very much.